In every town and village in Britain, there are hidden gems of historic architecture.
Oh my word. That is breathtaking. That's huge.
Thankfully, some romantics take on the challenge of restoring these unique buildings and turning them into family homes.
I think I bought it with an element of love and desire and a tinge of madness.
What we're doing is actually giving it another, hopefully, 500 years of life.
Churches, barns, and industrial buildings tell us many fascinating stories about our past.
Check its place. As any stately home or medieval castle.
It isn't for the faint-hearted.
You've got to fall in love first and then think about the consequences afterwards.
But the rewards can be a home like no other.
We're so proud of him. To see it and live it, it's just inspiring. Yeah, can't talk about it.
As an architect, I relish the challenge that these unusual buildings give us when we're trying to create a place called home.
This week, a Yorkshire couple battle to create a family home from a crumbling Baptist church.
Fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it whatsoever.
Don't tell her why.
It's a monster build,
Don't fall through the ceiling, it's just been plastered.
and they're doing it all themselves
I just can't wait to see the kids running around, it's going to be lovely.
on a cripplingly small budget with a bucket load of Yorkshire grit.
You're a grafter.
You'll be alright.
Absolute grafter, mate. You'll get there.
Snug in the picturesque Worth Valley in West Yorkshire lies the village of Oxenhope and Hawksbridge Church. This Edwardian Baptist chapel was bought by locals Colin and Emma Clues in 2014 after they'd spotted it for sale on a property website for £232,000.
My first reaction was, we were going to buy it as soon as we saw the property.
I think you thought I was going to say, don't be ridiculous, we're not doing this, but I was like, no, we've got to try, because it'll just be amazing.
Having fallen in love with the 100-year-old property, the couple spent a year selling their own homes and raising a mortgage to pay for it, convinced they had the vision and the determination to take it on.
I will keep chipping away until it happens and make it happen. I don't like the word no, I don't believe in being told that you can't do that because. I've kind of done a virtual walkthrough so many times now, I know how it's going to be almost.
Alongside this ambitious restoration, Colin and Emma have a sign-making business to manage. And to save money, the couple and their baby daughter will be living 9 miles away with Emma's parents. I'll be on hand to help and advise these fledgling renovators as they begin their restoration journey.
Morning.
Nice to meet you.
What a beautiful day. This is incredible. Did you ever imagine that you were going to buy a church?
A long
No.
time ago, I did, but not you, no.
I love that answer. Yes, no.
No.
I'll tell you what, you are lucky, because it is a beautiful building.
Yeah.
Should we go and have a look around?
Yeah,
You do
okay,
it?
cool.
Colin and Emma will be financing the build with a combination of savings and a self-build loan. And they're hoping to save money by doing the work themselves.
Have you taken on anything like this before?
No.
The face of worry and panic.
Yeah, you're panicking. I'm like, it'll be alright. It's always alright in the end, therefore it's that sort of attitude.
What's your budget?
100 grand.
There's a nervous laugh there.
It's £100,000 for the refurb. It's probably not enough, but it's a question of it's £100,000 of material.
And who's going to do all the work?
Me.
You.
Yeah. These two hands and friends and help.
I mean, why didn't you just buy yourself a kind of normal 3-bedroom new build house somewhere?
Because I'm never going to live in one of those.
That's the right answer.
Not in a million years.
Should we go inside and have a look?
Yeah.
Lead the way. The right way to enter the church. Straight in.
Hawksbridge is a 2-storey brick and stone church dating back to 1915, with a massive footprint of 3,000 square feet. The ground floor, where the congregation would have sat, is a large double-height space with ante-rooms leading off to the side. Downstairs there's a basement with 3 more rooms.
Oh, look at that. That's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
What an amazing space. That's really beautiful. It's fantastic.
Hawksbridge closed its doors in 2012 and has been empty ever since. Like so many old churches, blow away the cobwebs and you'll find leaking roofs, damp and dry rot and other hidden problems.
Yeah, this has seen better days, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Look at all that. That is grim. And that's concrete.
It's a concrete ceiling.
And go back into the space.
Yeah.
Despite the dire state of the building, the church has a wealth of original features, and the couple are full of ideas to preserve the building's character.
These are going to be a part of our balcony.
So you're taking these out and
Is
reusing
it
them?
lift
lit
it.
up?
That's it. They're sat on this, they're freestone. Do you get that side? That's it. They just sit and
was
take.
that?
It's bizarre.
It's going to take a huge amount of vision to transform this epic space, and I'm dying to see their plans. The ground floor will be divided into a large living room and playroom. On the south side, there'll be a dining room and study, leaving space around the living area for 4 bedrooms. But the couple are split over where the kitchen should go. Emma wants it on the south side of the church with access to the utility room and the basement, but Colin wants to use the larger room on the north side.
So this is where you think the kitchen should be, yeah?
Yeah, it's a far bigger space. We can get lovely sort of worktops and everything in. And there's room to dine in here as well, so during the week we can have the kids can be sat down, we can cook, we can play.
I agree that this would make a nicer kitchen. I don't disagree with that, but I just don't know how it's going to work with.
And if
dining.
this wasn't the kitchen, what would it be?
It becomes a bedroom.
It's a tricky one. Emma likes the south-facing room, but Colin feels it will be too small.
Should this be the kitchen? Or should that be the kitchen?
That's the thing. See, for me as a kitchen, you have units, but it starts to become a lot as a family kitchen,
And if that becomes a kitchen, what does this become?
Bedroom.
a bedroom.
After a closer look at the plans, I think I might have a solution.
It's not listed, this, is it?
No.
I can hear pounds just disappearing.
Just
Yeah, go on.
thinking aloud, what if you take that wall out and that becomes your kitchen, so it is bigger?
The decision hinges on whether the wall, dividing the room from the corridor that leads down to the basement, is structural. If they could knock the wall down, they'd create a space big enough to be a fantastic family kitchen.
You're going to spend, as a family, loads of time in that kitchen. It's facing the view, and it's facing south.
Yeah.
So the quality of light that you're going to get in that space when it's in that corner is going to be absolutely beautiful. But it's all about taking that wall out
Yeah,
and the
it
cost of it.
depends on.
And that is a big decision. That's a really big
It's
decision.
just we are skin of our teeth.
The defining feature of this build will be a mezzanine floor built into the main room for the couple's master bedroom with ensuite bathroom. But I don't think this makes the most of the space or the beautiful views to the south. There's an opportunity here to get natural light into the bedroom from the first floor windows by extending the mezzanine all the way to the south wall.
You've got all that amazing south light from that side. You've got one of the best views.
It worked, yeah. He's just spent $3,000 because the mezzanine then breaks the 5 metre span. So it takes it outside standard width. I can't get purlins wide enough.
But
Bugger.
it's such an important decision for how your bedroom's going to work
Yeah.
that if you need to spend that extra $3,000, that's where you need to spend it.
I didn't really see what else he could change when we started looking at the plans. You know, because we thought we'd sort of been through pretty much every scenario that we could do, but evidently not. Feels like it flows better, and it feels like it'll be more practical for everyday living. You know, for actually living in rather than it being on paper.
We can finally after a year of everything else, get on with some, actual proper work.
Lots to do.
Yeah, lots to do. Not enough time.
You know, this is such a beautiful building, and Colin and Emma are so passionate about it. But what I'm worried about more than anything is there's so many structural and damp issues with this building. It could quite easily swallow a huge amount of their budget. The other thing is that I've changed the design a lot, and every time I make a mark on a piece of paper, it moves the goalposts around about that budget and where they're going to allocate money. My biggest concern of everything is whether they can actually afford to do this.
In the picturesque Worth Valley in West Yorkshire, Colin Clews is on a tight budget and has taken on the lion's share of the work himself, restoring this 100-year-old Baptist church.
When George first came, I think you saw down the corner downstairs the roof was leaking, and this is the reason why. It just cracks throughout all the concrete below, the bitumen's cracked, the water's just running down into the wings, getting trapped in the walls and the plaster's falling off. I knew kind of what it was going to be like deep down, but fall in love with buildings, don't you?
The chapel's leaky roof has left the walls in a real mess. All the old plaster will have to be stripped off.
Get a shovel, Ben.
And the windows need some serious work.
Just been sat in the water from the roof where it's cracked. They're just rotting away. We haven't budgeted to change the windows because the planner said we had to restore them. It's just lots of surprises. It's frustrating because you pay for surveys and people come and tell you this will be fine, that'll be fine. It's just... Just gotta get on with it.
While Colin works out how to salvage his crumbling church, I want to dig a little deeper into its history. The Baptists emerged in the 17th century, a breakaway group from the established Church of England. But it was during the Industrial Revolution that the Baptist faith really took root here in West Yorkshire. Just as the mills brought new work to rural communities, so the Baptists delivered an entirely new style of worship.
So good to see you.
Great to see you.
This is great, isn't it?
I'm at nearby Hope Baptist Church in Hebden Bridge to meet the Reverend Professor William White to find out more about the appeal of these breakaway faiths.
So William, why were there so many Baptist churches in this particular area of Yorkshire?
This is an area that's being transformed in the late 18th, early 19th century by the Industrial Revolution. And the Church of England just can't cope with that development. This Hebden Bridge is a place where there isn't really an Anglican church until the 1830s. And into that vacuum come dissenting preachers, travelling missionaries, and so on and so forth. The second reason, I guess, is that the Church of England just didn't appeal to the new class of people that was created in the Industrial Revolution.
So there's a real need for something like this?
Absolutely. What it did was to provide a new world for this new social group. This is meant to be a kind of great theatre, if you like, in which the people come each Sunday to listen to the Bible read and to hear its truths expounded.
The Baptist preachers brought a new and exciting style of sermon to the eager congregations. A fire and brimstone delivery bellowed from the pulpit.
The idea is really in a Baptist church that if you're unconverted, the sermon and the Bible reading and the singing should force you to a kind of crisis point. You should start to think of yourself in hell. You should start to think of yourself burning in the fiery pit for eternity.
Key to the Baptist declaration of faith were the baptisms themselves, a ritual and symbolic cleansing which took place in the church or sometimes even outdoors in a river or spring.
The critical difference between the Baptists and almost all other Christian denominations in the 19th century was that they believed in adult, full immersion baptism. And so what they had to have was a place where they could do that was large enough for the preacher to stand in, the minister to stand in there and immerse an adult wholly into the water and then baptise them.
Quite an amazing thing, isn't it?
It's 3 months since my first visit to Hawkesbridge, and with the build in full flow, I'm keen to see how Colin and Emma are getting on.
So how's it all going on in there?
Get in there.
Big changes? Oh my word, look at that! You've done loads!
The big RS chair, we took that out. The floor, it was raised up there, came out, and in doing so, then we discovered the whole baptism pool.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah, I found it there, yeah. So, no, you're missing it.
Where?
They covered it up, we found out in 1951. So,
Oh my word, look at that.
I knew there had to be one in here somewhere.
Look at that.
That were a Friday night 7 o'clock find. Here's the bit. I love this, mate. Just feel the weight of the plug. But just the end of it, it's like
The plug
brass.
is still there. Did you know it was here?
We
Do you have any
knew,
idea?
we knew they'd had a baptism bath in, but the problem was no one could remember it. It was 1951. Since we've looked into it, it was covered over. They closed another church. They put the old floor out of there over the top. Did all this to make it disappear and stopped using it.
That's brilliant. That really is such a find. I love that. What are you going to do with it?
Eventually put a glass top on it and
Okay.
light it. We just can't afford the glass at the moment. We've got one quote in. It's just not feasible. As it
How
stands.
much?
£6,000 for the glass.
Yeah, forget that.
Not now.
That can happen another day.
Yeah.
Well, that's a cracking find. Brilliant, actually. And you've done loads of other work, haven't you? So this has all been stripped back, tanked,
All the floors
doors have
out.
come out, floors out. It's really good at all this, all new stud work.
It was meant to be 12-month, 18-month build, and then
No way.
yeah, we've got
No way.
yeah,
Baby number 2.
Baby number 2, yeah.
yeah. Baby number 2 coming.
How does that affect the schedule?
We're just going to see what we can do.
Okay.
Everyone tells us it can't be done. We can't get it finished. If we had a big pot of cash, yeah, but we don't. But it does mean we're just going to throw a few more hours at it in the day.
So the idea is that you're going to get in by the time baby comes.
No, it'd be nice to think we could, but I don't realistically think we can do
Can
that.
we have a closer look at this wall?
I'm thrilled for Colin and Emma, but I'm wondering whether they're going to find it all a bit too much.
I mean, I might as well tell you, and you probably know this anyway, he's going to be here a lot more.
He is, yeah.
The more the build goes on, he's going to be home less and less and less, and he's going to get more knackered, and there's going to be more financial pressure.
Yeah. I'm going to be more and more pregnant.
And you're going to be
Yeah.
more and more pregnant, and you're both going to be more and more skinned.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
Well, but it's not a surprise, is it? That's what happens, isn't it? You know?
Are you ready for it, though?
Well, we'll find out when it happens. You know, we've just got to find a way to get through it. Neither of us went into this thinking it was going to be easy, because, well, if it was easy, then more people would do it. Wouldn't they? All I keep thinking is it's only for a year.
Crack on.
At least there's some good news on the kitchen wall. On my first visit, I suggested knocking it down to create a bigger space. It turns out the wall isn't load-bearing, so it won't cost a bomb to take out.
Whoa. Saves on the gym fees. Brilliant, it's gone. Look at that, man. That's a kitchen now.
Loads of
Massive.
treasure. Yeah. You win. You will never win. I did it.
And now you've got the 2 lovely windows. I know that massive one, which is beautiful, and then just that little smaller one alongside the staircase.
Loads of light.
Thank God it wasn't load bearing.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, there's a lot of hard work going on this site. It's unbelievable, I think, how much Colin and Emma are pushing themselves to the absolute limit, trying to juggle the restoration project, new baby coming along. Talk about pushing themselves. It's actually quite an epic build, this.
It seems to me the story of Hawksbridge has always been a tale of hard graft. 100 years ago, this church was built and paid for by the people of the village, with help from local mill owner William Greenwood. I've tracked down Amy Binns, lecturer from the University of Central Lancashire at one of the last working woolen mills in West Yorkshire, to find out more about the strong ties between mill and chapel.
So how important were mills to our village?
Well, you can just see in the pictures here. I mean, look at all these chimneys rising up out of the valley. They were very, very successful places. These mills were kicking out a lot of money.
Some of the mill owners wanted to put money back into the community, so they built chapels for the workers, and these quickly became the social as well as spiritual hub of the village.
Everything happened here, and we can see all the things that happened. So it was the concerts and the shows. Quite often people would write pantomimes for the local audience. I think we've got a pantomime here. It's 1933, so you can see they're all dressed up for a show. They're obviously having a grand old time. All those bonnets.
That is fantastic.
Yes.
Is this out of church?
Yes, that is, I think, one of the anniversary or charity services. there they all are with their
That's
musical
brilliant.
instruments. Yeah. And music was central to chapel life. Right from the earliest days of our chapel, they had harmony singing.
That's the first time that I've seen a shot at the interior when it was used as a church. You've got all the pews
Really?
there and everything. It's fantastic, isn't it? So it was kind of like, I suppose like many churches have been everywhere else in Britain, kind of community centre, a place for gathering.
Yes.
But actually quite fun.
Chapel life in these days, obviously we didn't have music halls in this village, we didn't have theatres, certainly didn't have cinemas, we didn't have radios, so it was all happening here.
Since the restoration of Hawkesbridge Church began, to keep it on track, Colin and Emma have been working to a gruelling schedule. Colin's doing mornings alongside Emma at their sign-making business, then he's back on site to work afternoons and evenings on the church.
Being away from work and being here is now sort of quite a difficult juggling act. It's hard because I need to be here more to try to get the build done a bit quicker, yet at the same time work has to pay for everything, to find balance. Just lots of things going on and not enough hours in the day, and to be in sort of 4 or 5 different places. So it can be quite stressful.
Emma, who's now 5 months pregnant, is balancing work with looking after little Florence. And to add to the pressure, the build has just suffered its first major setback. The timber shuttering for the mezzanine foundations has burst.
We thought it was all done, and then there was just a nice popping noise, and the box opened up and about 6 tonne of sort of wet concrete went flooding out underneath the floor. So that was when we called it a day, and stopped at that point and stopped the pour.
But there's no money in the budget to hire extra help. It's now a frantic scramble to recover the lost time.
The only way to catch back up now and get the time frame back so we could get the timings we needed to try to keep the project moving forward. It's just meant a few 1 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock at night finishes, early starts because we're busy at work. I think I'll see light when the mezzanine's up and all the mezzanine's in.
It's very late on Friday night, and Colin's friends and family are due on site first thing tomorrow to help put up the mezzanine. Before that, the floor needs to be finished.
I'd love to be in bed right now, but it's just not an option.
Having scraped a few welcome hours' sleep, it's all hands on deck for the biggest day of the project so far. The building of the massive steel mezzanine floor for the master bedroom suite. Keen to get the job done in a single weekend, Colin's called in extra help from friends and colleagues, and even his dad Mike.
I get roped into everything with my son. It's my own fault because I've done 1 or 2 house alterations, but not to this sort of style before. So he's seen me playing about and decided to do it grand style. Yeah, the outside ones go to the wall, and then they turn and turn about all the way down the beam. I think it'd be good when it's finished. I just worry that he's got one 10-month-old baby and another one on the way, and nowhere to live.
After a real team effort, the mezzanine floor of Colin and Emma's Baptist Church has been firmly bolted into place.
This looks great.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Really good, doesn't it? Yeah. Very smart. Are you pleased with it?
Yeah.
That's great. You've got the setting out of it all pretty spot on, I think. It looks really smart.
The mezzanine has bitten a huge chunk out of their super tight budget. So far they've spent £60,000, leaving just £40,000 for the rest of the build. And now the couple must turn their attention to the large number of rotten windows.
66.
66
So there's
windows.
66 windows getting redone. I'm really lucky. And my friend's got a picture frame in place. He's making them all.
Is he?
Yeah.
I was on the verge of having a mini heart attack when he said we've got to replace 66 windows, because I just thought, where's the money going to come from?
Well, we priced it up, and at sort of between £400 and £500 a window. There's 30 grand straight away.
Yeah.
So
And you're getting a better deal than that?
They're going to be done for about 7,500.
No way. God, you'll make and mate all my windows if you want.
No flat pack windows, I'm getting them for less than the flat pack price.
All these unexpected extras are going to have a big impact on the budget, and of course on the amount of work piling up on Colin and Emma.
Sometimes it's hard because Emma's pregnant, so it's a balancing act between making sure I'm there for her and what she needs as a husband, and at the same time making sure this keeps moving forward, and it's just a juggling act.
At least with the new windows arriving on site, Colin's got a fighting chance of getting the place weathertight before winter and the arrival of the new baby.
She could build herself a greenhouse. Reuse all them. Nice little mock Victorian one. Oh, look at that view! Never seen that one before. Not from here, look at that.
Em's going to be desperate to see that.
Come and get her. She here?
Yeah, she's here.
Come and get her.
Some
She'll love
paperwork.
that. Come have a look. Come have a look at this. Go on. First view from your kitchen. Have a look. Go on.
Wow. That's a good view.
That's amazing, isn't it? Once Claire goes in, look at the amount of dapple light you've got coming on the floor today. I mean, this will be the most lovely kitchen. It really will. I'm quite jealous, actually. Yeah, just think about it, you know, every day you wake up, come down to your kitchen, you're going to look at that.
There's just so much potential here for a very special family home.
Fantastic, that.
Not bad, is it?
Very smart.
But what's really starting to worry me is the heavy burden on Colin, who's working round the clock to get the build done.
You just got to make how many of them?
Well, I'm not making them, but there's 65 left to go now. We've just got to, seal them, finish them, glaze them, fit them, all before winter.
Be fine. What are you worried about?
A couple of weeks.
As well as everything else you've got to do in the building.
Yeah, no problem.
You're a grafter.
It'll be all right.
Absolute grafter, mate. You'll get there.
Not having a place to call home is putting pressure on the family. Since the build began, Colin, Emma and their daughter Florence have been living with Emma's parents.
We've been here for 18 months, 19 months now. So a little bit longer than the 6 months that we originally said. In about 6 weeks we'll have our new addition to the family. So not long to go at all now.
We're living with the in-laws and they're brilliant, but you need your own space. So.
The race is now on to get the church wind and watertight, and more importantly, insulated.
We've got 160 millimetres of high-density sprayed foam insulation. We're going to fill all the internal walls as well, creating super insulated sort of living space, really. Just to make it as affordable as possible to heat this place.
This type of insulation is costing £17,000 to install, but it's a long-term investment that's worth making.
It's going to make a massive difference to the building from no insulation to 100 millimetres of airtight insulation sprayed in. Good job, Steve. I'm impressed.
Saved from the elements at last, the church is ready to face a Yorkshire winter. And the snows have arrived in the Worth Valley. But it's been a quiet Christmas. Work stopped on site when Colin downed tools with the arrival of their new baby daughter.
Hello there. New baby and everything. Look at that. Cute baby hiding in there. You must be over the moon. Congratulations, mate. Thank you. Well done. Well, should we go inside then? Out the freezing cold. Thanks, mate.
So far, they've spent around £80,000, which is incredible considering how far this build has come. Now Colin wants to install a computer-controlled lighting system throughout the house.
Most houses, you switch the light switch on and it can only switch on that light that is linked to. In this house, everything goes back to one location, so it's structured in its wiring. And then that one switch could switch on anything, on any of the circuits, as long as the brain is programmed to do so. It can all be done, remotely. It can be done through apps on your phone and things.
As ever, the only way they can afford this is if Colin does the work himself. Despite the time it will take, he's determined to drag the old Baptist church into the 21st century.
It'll be about 2 kilometres probably of lighting and mains wiring, and then probably another 2 kilometres, I reckon, of the smart wiring. Don't fall through the ceiling, it's just been plastered.
The more time Colin and Emma spend in the village, the more aware they're becoming of the importance of Hawkesbridge Church to the close-knit community. It's 100 years since the church opened, and despite the fact they're under so much pressure, the couple have invited the whole village to a centenary celebration, complete with a local Howarth brass band.
So do you ever tell me about your connection to the church? How far does it go back?
Oh, it goes back right back to my granddad's era when he lived in the village when he was a lad, and he came here from years back.
What's your most vivid memory, if you like, of the anniversaries and all the events that happened here?
It's the outside anniversaries, the charities that we used to call them, and we used to have them outside with the band, and the band would be playing. It was just absolutely packed full of people.
My grandfather was organist here for 60 years, and then I did it for about 25 years.
25 years?
25 years.
You were the organist for 25 years?
25 years.
There's a rich musical tradition at Hawkesbridge, dating back to the celebrated local composer Handel Parker, who learned to play the organ here and went on to write the world-famous hymn, Deep Harmony.
When you played a hymn, such as Deep Harmony, which is our hymn here, isn't it, Deep Harmony? You could feel the roof. It was lifting.
I mean, what I've got a sense of today is that this building is more about people than bricks and mortar, isn't it? About the community, don't you think?
Oh, without a doubt. It's been really nice, sort of people knocking on the door the last few weeks now they know it's on, and anecdotal stories, and did you know that such and such, and it's like, no, I got married here, nice meeting. It's like, okay, really. It's just been really nice. It's like the building's felt warm in a different way.
In the last push to get the church finished, Colin's rounded up all the willing hands he can find. It's been a year of hard graft, and one that's taken its toll.
We have had to make a lot of sacrifices to do this. You know, Colin in particular has missed out on a lot with the girls, and he doesn't get to see them that often because he needs to be here. It's nice to see it changing into a house. I can't wait for the day where I refer to it as a home or a house rather than a church.
We've risked everything. We've sold 2 houses. We've, done everything we possibly can to make sure we've got a, forever family house. And I just can't wait to see the kids running around. It's going to be lovely.
When Colin and Emma Clues took on Hawkesbridge Baptist Church 18 months ago, it was always going to be an epic, single-handed restoration. Now I'm back to find out whether they finally achieved their dream of turning the village church into their family home.
There you are. How are you doing? You alright? Yeah, good. You look far too well. You should be absolutely knackered. Obviously from the outside you didn't have to do a lot really, did you?
No,
bit of repair work and things like that, but it was much more about respecting the old building and just letting it be. Inside,
Changed it.
work. It changed it just a little bit.
Tad.
Is it done?
Yeah.
Are you happy?
Yeah. Really happy.
As happy as you can be. Yeah. He's always wanted to do extra bits. He never thinks he's finished.
Nope.
No.
Should we go inside and have a look?
Yeah.
Come on.
Coming in.
How's it looking?
Something like it.
What do you think?
Now that is brilliant.
Before work began, this was a damp and cavernous shell of a church, rotting away. Now it's a triple height living space with a soaring first floor mezzanine. Beneath the mezzanine, Colin and Emma have created a colourful playroom for the kids.
After all the hard work, blood, sweat, tears, stress, everything, the list is endless actually with you two. You've done it. You've done it, and it looks beautiful.
The south side of the living room opens onto a spacious dining area, where the new hardwood windows give spectacular views across the valley.
And then you've got a nice little office study off to there. I like that. You can just close that off. You still got the light coming through the clear glass. And then the baptistry. That's fantastic. Yeah, that is fantastic.
True to form, Colin's done a brilliant DIY job on the glass floor, saving himself about £4,500.
You've exposed and revealed an important piece of history. You then displayed it really beautifully. It's got a nice story behind it. I like the idea as well that it's a little kind of hidden jewel, really, because you can't see it at all, and you just come around that corner and it's revealed, and everyone will be like, what's that? That's fantastic. Brilliant. So can we see the kitchen?
Yeah.
Come on, lead the way. After you, mate.
You won the argument in here.
I won the argument.
Where it was going.
Do you know what? It was a big debate, wasn't it, about where the kitchen was going to go. Was it this side or is it the other side?
Demolishing the large interior wall was a big call.
Whoa. Is it the right position? Are you happy?
Yeah.
Definitely. I always thought it was cold.
Yeah, you
wanted it
were
on
right.
that side.
No, you were right. I know my place
Oh my
here.
God.
Yeah. I picked the battles to win.
But it's brilliant. I mean, that window is just stunning, isn't it?
Yeah.
To be here, having breakfast on a morning, looking out over that. All the lovely light that comes from that side as well. It's great.
The old ante-rooms on the ground floor have become 4 beautiful bedrooms. And stairs up the side of the mezzanine lead to the balconied master bedroom suite.
That's a bed, isn't it?
I don't really have to say anything, do I? It's fantastic. That is some bed.
That's some upcycling.
How have you done that?
Pretty.
How?
Yeah. What is it? What?
So that's the old pulpit. That's actually the back of the pulpit. These are the side posts off the pulpit. And then we took these off. These were sort of reworked and made to jig round, and then the bits of detail pulled off of the bits and then spliced and diced it all together.
And I'm pleased they took my advice to extend the mezzanine to the south-facing windows, giving the room lots of light and stunning views.
This, I can honestly say, is my favourite bit. It really is. You've done so many other beautiful things through the whole restoration, but there's just something about you making the decision to craft something new. You've put in a new floor level here. This didn't exist before. And to have this lovely balcony edge and be looking through that arched window to the beautiful landscape beyond is just, it's staggering. And obviously, another bit of upcycling. You've salvaged and reused all of
It
this.
was painful.
It actually looks like it's meant to be there. That's the sign of a brilliant restoration project. And it's still the bathroom to see, isn't it?
Yeah.
Should we go and have a look?
Yeah, cool. Little bathroom.
It won't be little, I know that for a fact.
A bath.
Oh my word. That's not an ordinary bath, is it?
No, it's a
Colin
animal
bath.
feeder.
It's an animal feeder
The guy
bath.
he actually makes dipping and tanks, things for the food industry, so I just got him to make me a bespoke big tank.
You know I'm going to have to get in it, don't
Yeah,
you?
get in it. It's the view. You should be able to lie down in that and put your hands behind your head as if you're lying completely flat.
Right, I'm going to leave my feet an inch away from the end.
There you go.
You could be buried in this when you go.
Absolutely, really. It's perfect because you get to sit in the bath and we can both fit and you can just look down the valley.
To be sitting in your roll-top dipping trough, whatever it is, and looking out at that view, it's so beautiful. You should be really proud. Thank you. You really should. It's bloody brilliant. I feel tiny in here. I've never felt small in any bath that I've ever been. Oh, hang on a minute.
There we go. There you
This
go.
is a whole different programme altogether. Happy days. Brilliant.
What I love is the character and quality of this restoration, and Colin and Emma have managed it all for just £120,000. A lot of that is down to Colin's relentless work ethic, but that's not the whole story.
The great thing about being tight about money and watching the now you are. No, I'm joking. Frugal, very careful with your pennies. The brilliant thing about that, though, is it forces you to think creatively about how you can reuse some of the existing things in the space. So a challenging budget, virtually impossible budget, which yours was, has made you do that.
Instead of just being a little bit creative, it was like you go down the impossible route and just keep pushing it and pushing it. We've just got to keep chipping away and not taking no for an answer.
Yeah.
In the end, Colin and Emma went just £20,000 over budget, mostly down to extras like the windows. But I think they've achieved nothing short of a miracle, crafting a stunning family home in a way that feels true to the spirit of the building.
Well done.
Thank
Here's
you.
to the church. Here's to it being made into a very beautiful home. But more importantly, here's to you. Well done.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Hawksbridge Baptist Church, Buck. There's us, first day. Look at that, eh? Brilliant image, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fab.
It was like such a long time ago.
Yeah, it was. It's like, what, April last year? Then the build. Then where we're standing now, there we are.
Yeah.
We'll be on there. But all that hard work paid off. This is for you.
Thank you very much.
This is your life moment. Just for you.
Thank you. Fabulous.
And there's one more surprise. The local choir are raising the rafters one last time with Deep Harmony, the hymn that's part of the legacy of this village church. For almost 100 years, Hawksbridge played a special part in the lives of the people of this valley. Its restoration has been a tale of true Yorkshire grit, a couple who've achieved what seemed like the impossible and have done it with vision and integrity.
Churches are notoriously difficult buildings to convert into homes. And it's not just because of the architectural stuff like windows, altars, pews and pulpits. It's because they're very important buildings for people. They have a special and unique history. Now this church was the beating heart, the home if you like, of the local community. But now it's time for a new chapter in its life. It's the very beautiful home for Colin, Emma and their family.
To find out more about the build featured in this programme, or if you have a project for the next series, go to channel4.com/restorationman. Next time, it's one man's dream to restore a Victorian railway station single-handed.
Life is not a dress rehearsal.
But with no money to pay for help, will his dream ever become a reality?
It might take me longer than I perhaps anticipate, but it won't beat me.
So that's next week, same time. Tomorrow, the girl behind the incredible voice, Asif Kapadia's talked about film Amy, here on 4 at 9. But coming up, which 70s board game was accused of selling sex in a box? The clues are in the big fat quiz of everything, next.